Welcome to Heavy Metal Monday. Hey, it's Coach Mike Capiglione coming to you live from Varsity House Gym. Welcome to another edition of Heavy Metal Monday. Today joining me, I got a special guest, Coach Joey McNerney. Coach Joey's been one of our coaches here for the last 3 years. He's one of the hardest working individuals that I personally have ever seen. He's got himself into some tremendous shape. He was recently in one of Coach Dan's Jailhouse Fridays finisher. Coach Dan unfortunately put him through some hell. Today won't be as so bad on Coach Joey because we're going to be talking about how to correctly set up a deadlift. Coach Joe has been really training himself really hard. He's been on the same program that Coach Dan has been on leading up to Jim Jones. So you can only imagine how hard Coach Joey's been doing, and I'm happy to have him here on the show, and I'm also glad to call him a friend. So here's what we're going to get started today is we're going to pick our new exercise for this Heavy Metal Monday. Is going to be how to properly set up the correct deadlift. Okay, so once we get into this, I want you guys to know that we're not even going to pull today. All we're going to talk about is all I want you to do is go through the list of commands that I want you in your head to go through on just how to set up correctly. Let's get to it. Okay guys, so we're going to get started today on how to correctly set up for a deadlift. One of the biggest pet peeves that I see in the gym when I'm training my clients is that when we start to perform a deadlift, their setup technique is different almost all the time. So one of my biggest things is that we talk about having a superstitious routine when you step up and perform a lift. And this is no more important seen here than in the deadlift. This is very important to have a routine, understand, go through a list of commands similar to how we talked about when we did the box squat with Shota. When we walk in, I need you understanding the list of commands on how to correctly set yourself up. So here, I'm going to help Coach Joey go through this, cue him out, and he's going to go through how to correctly set it up as I cue him. And we're not even going to pull. We're just going to learn how to correctly set up before you can even pull. So let's get started here. So first thing I want Coach Joey to do, he's going to take a step in, okay, and his feet, his shins are slightly inside the knurling. Now, depending on how tall of an individual you are, how immobile you are, this stance may change, okay? It may have to be a little wider. If you're 6'7", your stance may have to be wider, okay? But for the majority of individuals, I like to see the stance, the feet width, okay? Basically, I like a little bit outside the shoulders, maybe even lined up with the shoulders, but for the most part, we're inside the knurling, okay? The bar is completely against his shins. If he walks in and sets himself up and he's already got a couple inches between him and the bar, he's setting himself up for failure. Most good deadlifters you'll see will have cuts and scrapes up and down their shins because they're keeping the bar close to their body, their area of base. Once the bar leaves their area of base, injury is much more likely to happen, and you completing a clean rep and getting your best opportunity to succeed at that lift is very low. So make sure you're as close as you can to the bar, and the bar is actually touching your shins. So he's walking in, bar is touching his shins. Next thing he's going to do, he's going to slightly bend his knees and hips, and he's going to take his grip. His grip is going to be slightly outside of his shins, okay? He's making sure that his grip is even on both sides. Now, when he grabs the bar, for warm-up sets, I like to see you grab the bar double overhand, okay, to help with your grip and work on your grip. As you work up in weight, you're going to want to switch your grip to give yourself the best opportunity to pull that weight. So you may want to go over, under. For me personally, I'm a righty, so I like to go right over and left hand under, but it's different for everybody. Some people like left over, some people like right under. It's much different. But as we work up in weight, decide what grip you want to do. It's going to help you pull more weight, okay? So he's going to take his grip. He's going to go double over. We got lightweight on here, so we got 135 in here, so he's going to go double overhand grip. Now, once he takes his grip, it's locked in now, okay? So he's not going to reopen his hands at all. His grip is taken, and that is it. It's locked in. Now, from here, he wants to set his hips up, so he's going to push back slightly, get his shoulders back, okay? And now he's sitting, his hips are above his knees, hips are back, and his lower back is maintaining that arch position. And he's trying to pull his lats in. Okay, relax for me, Joe, okay? That should be a tough position to stay into. Is that a tough position for you to stay into? Yeah, so it should be a tough position to hold. It shouldn't feel that easy. You should almost, at times, feel like you may gonna fall back a little bit. So that means to me that all your weight is distributed on your heels. So you should be able to flex your toes up. That means your weight is distributed on your heels. Okay, so we're gonna get set back up again, get back to that position we were just in. Okay, so shins against, he takes his grip. Okay, hips are back. Now, right before he's gonna begin the pull, he's gonna breathe in, push his stomach out, pull his lats in so they're engaged, flex his triceps, and he's going to begin to do what we call the pre-pull. Okay? The pre-pull, you can relax for me, okay? The pre-pull is that slack that's in the bar before you pull. We want to pull the slack out. This is one of the most important things to be doing before you even execute a rep, and is one of the most forgotten things that most people do not do when they deadlift, okay? So we're gonna pull the slack out, and by pulling the slack out, he does that by engaging his lats, strong grip on the bar, triceps are flexed, his upper back is flexed, he breathes in and begins to pull on the bar and holds that tightness for about 1 second and then begins his pull. No herky-jerky motion. He's not rebend. Give me a rebend of the elbows, what we don't want to do, okay? So he's going to walk in. I'm going to show you what I do not want you to do, and what I see a lot is trying to get momentum, okay? So let's take our grip again. Let's set up, breathe in big air, and breathing, and then bending the elbow, and then trying to pull, okay? You see that a lot, okay? Remember, this is as much of a static lift as there possibly can be, so you can't create momentum on a static lift, okay? So make sure the elbows are locked out and the arms are long, and you're not going down with that bent elbow and then trying to pull, and that's a herky-jerky motion. What happens with that is as soon as you begin your pull, you start to get jolted forward, and you get jerked forward, and your shoulders become advanced to the bar, and it makes the lift a whole lot harder. Your chest gets pulled forward, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, so real quick, we're gonna set up real quick one more time. I'm not going to say anything. Coach Joey's going to set up and set himself up for dip. Go ahead, Joe. In the back. Yeah. And there he's ready to pull. Okay, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the correct execution setup for a deadlift. And next, we're going to move on to my heavy metal song of the week. Okay, guys. It's time for my heavy metal song of the week. Before we get started here, I just want to thank Coach Joey McNerney. Pound it up, Joe. Okay, don't leave me hanging. Okay, you may know Joe as AKA Joe McFlurry, and the other, what he's commonly known as here, is Joey V-Fitters. But Joey goes by a lot of names, and I got that in there because I know Coach Dan wanted to put that in the last time he was on Jailhouse Friday, so that's for you, Coach Dan. Our heavy metal song of the week, I'm very excited to talk about this song and about this band. I've been wanting to put this band on ever since we started doing this show. They personally have become my favorite band in probably the last 5 years, and that band is Lamb of God. Okay, now when me and Joey first became friends and he started becoming one of our coaches here, Joey wasn't the biggest heavy metal fan, but I think I had some influence on him in the last few years. I think he's heard enough heavy metal here that he has slowly become somewhat of a heavy metal fan. So it's funny, the last few weeks he's actually been asking me to put on Laid to Rest by Lamb of God, which I had no idea that he even knew that song existed. But so that's going to be our song this week. It's called Laid to Rest by Lamb of God. One of their most fantastic songs. Everything they've done has been really great for the last 10 years. Lamb of God has recently been on tour promoting their new album called Sturm und Drans. Okay, hopefully I said that correctly. The lead singer, the frontman, Randall Blythe, in my opinion, has become the most creative frontman in heavy metal. He's not only doing collaborations with other bands, he just got done writing a book called Dark Days, which was actually about a situation, a tragedy that happened on stage when he was in Prague. And their drummer is one of my favorite drummers. Luckily, a couple years ago, I saw them open up for Metallica at Madison Square Garden. I was standing right behind Chris Adler. He's the drummer for Lamb of God. He took one of the sticks, tossed it out there. I had the top, one guy at the bottom. You know how that worked out. Ripped that right out of his hands. I took the drumstick and it has his name on it, has Lamb of God. It's really cool. He's one of the best drummers. He's now collaborating with Megadeth and is on tour with Megadeth and playing with them right now. And so they are, they're doing great things. They're on top of it. They're doing awesome, and I really enjoy them. I'm pretty happy that I've had some influence here on Coach Joey in the heavy metal world. So that's my song for the week, Laid to Rest by Lamb of God. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, if you like what you saw today, hit the like button, leave me a comment or a question. I'll soon get back to you. Until then, make sure you check us out at varsityhousegym.com, and I'll see you next week. Until then, stay heavy.